Alright, back again here. We're going to try to remove this entire carriage, and it looks like I'm going to have to take off on the end here. I'm going to have to remove from the ways this shaft. I may have to take it out of the gearbox itself. I don't know yet, but we're going to look into it, and then I'm going to hook up the cherry picker and remove the whole carriage. Slide it off the end, and then I'll be able to take it apart. I'll be able to take the saddle off. I can't take the saddle off. There'll be nothing holding the apron, and I don't want to bend this screw. And this is also attached, and this is, I believe, also attached somehow to the bottom of the apron there, and so this is the only thing. The saddle's what's holding it all together, and there's like 1, 2, 3, and maybe 3 or more screws, and then I can remove the apron off of the saddle and get in there and figure out why this particular the cross feed clutch is I'm not able to either engage it or disengage it. I'm not sure if it is screwed all the way in or it's not screwed in at all. So I don't know what's going on. This one works fine. This, this is very typical for these old ladies. You just screw this in, and that engaged the longitudinal feed, and that's it. Unscrew it, and it stops its feed. Here's the half nut lever on this one. That's engaged when you're threading. You take this reversing lever so you can actually stop it, shut the machine off, and go in the other direction and bring it back, and then of course put it in the correct direction to take another cut, all while not disengaging the half nut. That's what the Hendey is special, why it's special, is this particular apron. It's a double wall apron, and it's really heavy duty. I'm sure this frickin' apron probably weighs 300 pounds. It's a heavy piece of metal. Alright, so let me check and look at a couple things here, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. These two screws held this bracket, which is the bracket that holds the ends of the Acme screw and these other two rods. One's I believe you can actually dial, it's like a depth adjustment, stop the carriage, and your reverser lever shaft. So that was not too bad, and there was 2 bolts. You may not be able to see that, but there was 2 bolts and another little fulcrum that holds this. That's all off. That was a little bit of a pain to get off, but it's off, and so very important, I believe, to tie the shafts, to hold the shafts up. When you take the carriage off, right, and then there's nothing holding the ends. The carriage is holding it up now. Once I pull the carriage, that's going to be, you know, these are going to hold all 3 of these rods, so they don't get bent. You bend a rod, you probably have to send it to somebody like Keith Fenner that can straighten it, or if you're sharp and you know what to do, you can straighten yourself. But why, you know, preventative. So here we are. I am ready to grab the cherry picker, and I'm gonna strap it and pull it off, and we'll see how it looks underneath there. Unfortunately, there's no repair manuals. There's no manuals for these particular machines. People that did this stuff, they just knew. They really did know what they were doing, and you know, it's basically all mechanical, and I've been working on mechanical, electrical things since I can remember. It's not difficult. You just got to take your time and you know, go slow and figure out what you need to take off to get it off. And I hope that this video, or these soon to become videos, that somebody else may have a lathe, a Hendey lathe for instance, like this, and pictures are great, videos are good or better, so we're gonna contribute and you know, do what we can to and show as much video as possible on taking this stuff off and getting inside the apron. This is a big deal. And after that's done, I am going to look into the main spindle bearings. I may pull the cones out, look at the bearings, shim up this back bearing. There's a thrust bearing in there. This front part bearing is actually a cone. It's a taper. So if there is no or not enough shim, what happens is the front part of the bearing gets more seated and the spindle does not turn as free. It's a very tight fit. So you got to shim it up, get it right, and all that good stuff. Once that's done, I think I'm gonna put the back on. There's a bracket that bolts to the back of this machine that supports the motor, and it supports the 4-speed quick change box for the speed. So you really only need to leave it on this main pulley here and change it up there. There's 2 levers, and that's it. So let me see if I can get the cherry picker out and hook it up, and we'll continue then. Alright, we have the cherry picker hooked up, and we're going to attempt to remove the saddle. Let's get it up a little bit. It looks like we're going to load it now. See if we can reposition this here. Get it a little bit better. We're almost off. I don't want to make any mistakes here, so just going to take a moment and have a look at this. It looks good. Looks like should be up. And well, let me see if I can do this. Be right back. Yeah, okay, we're getting there. Having to kind of bulwark this thing. It's an off-balance load, and it's fighting me. I could supposedly take the back retainer gib support, and maybe it would come off easier that way, but I still have to come straight out to get this rod out from inside the apron. So we're almost there. I've been working at it, and let me see what I can get it off. Okay. Alright, it's off. It definitely is heavy. This is a very heavy carriage. Well, it's balanced. It's not balanced the greatest, but let's see. We can see, look at all that stuff inside there. A double wall apron with many interesting clutches and whatnot. So we're going to get it on the bench and take the saddle off and have at it. Clean it up. You know, it looks like it's packed with grease, which this is not designed for grease. It's designed for oil. So maybe that's what, somebody must have pumped some grease and shit in there. Who knows? But well, it's off and it's hanging, and it's heavy. So we'll clean up the ways a little bit while I take the other stuff apart. And here's my little garage heater. Here's all the parts, and find a place on the workbench to work on this monster. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.